All right, hello and welcome everybody back to another stream. I'm just some CFI. Thank you for joining me on this Saturday evening. It's May the 24th. I leave for Vegas in a few days, so I'll be getting as many streams out of the way as possible. So thank you for joining me tonight, and we'll be taking this airplane from Philadelphia to Toronto, and we're going to be parking at one of the swing gates. So we'll be keeping this airplane from Toronto over to Montreal. So real world wise, these kind of flights can get a little messy depending on how much time are built in, as we're switching from Canada US, US Canada, clearing customs and all that kind of stuff. So it's a good thing we're going to be on a quote swing gate, and that's why I picked that. So we'll be able to offload US passengers that'll go through Canadian customs, and then load up Canadian or whoever who went through US customs right onto the airplane. So it's kind of nice to do that and go right over to Montreal. No towing, and we don't have to clear it or anything. So yeah, we'll be taking this one. It's Fin 703 from pretty nice sunny Philly. We actually have ATC online today for once, so that's always fun, and I probably should get started before we lose them. So we'll do the fastest walk around ever, and we'll get going in the flight deck. First, we'll say hi to whoever who stopped in. Let me just expand my window here. Got Systems, hey, welcome on board. Joe says Baker as well. Thank you for joining in. Thanks for stopping by. And Gary, welcome as well. Hope everyone is doing well today. I already connected the tug because it's just quicker to have them connected and ready to go. So as soon as we're ready to push, we'll tell them that we're ready to go. And we're going to jump into the flight deck. It looks like they brought the stairs up, but those stairs should be declined so we can get in this and get back into the flight deck there. There we go. So we're in a turnaround state airplane, and I just noticed because they connected the tug, it disengaged the ground power, which is a little bit of a bug. It shouldn't do that. It should keep the ground power going even though they're connected. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to immediately start the AP, which is very frowned upon in real world, but we're just going to do that today. NG or regular RJ? This is going to be the regular RJ today. Bit test complete. We'll start up the APU. We're not fueling, so we can start it on up. While that thing is starting up, we'll go flight plan page. We'll import the OFP. We'll send that to the FMS to be a bit quicker. We're going to set the payload as well, although it should say payload and fuel, but it doesn't today. And I'm just going to verify that this is the right, all the right numbers. So we're supposed to have a zero fuel weight of 63,556. So 63. 6 close enough. A little heavier, it's fine. Fuel on board is supposed to be 83, 84 basically. We'll give ourselves 85 for the extra APU usage. We'll enter that in. We'll set payload in simulator. We'll just spam these because the numbers kind of jump around. And we're going to go ahead and go flaps 8. It will be dry. We'll set all for the speeds now while we're here. A trim of 6.8. We'll just go ahead and set 6.8 as well. Wouldn't do that in real life because we wouldn't have all these final numbers, but we're already loaded. And getting it on board from a turnaround state airplane, either from a different crew or you just landed, we're going to reset the IRSs. So within 5 seconds, we'll bring those online. We'll get initialized position. I get hit index, position initialization, next page. Those should already be online. Oh, it's because the APU is off. Little tip, it shouldn't work this way, but even if it's blanked out, you can click it and the coordinates will populate in the sim. And we'll press execute for that flight plan that we had there. So we're going from Philadelphia to Toronto. The alternate Buffalo. We're direct Pottstown, Sarah, Rav, Phillipsburg, Woozy. And looks like today... Oops. That was not the button I wanted to press. Ronnie says, good afternoon from Brisbane. Hey, welcome. It's in the afternoon for that's kind of crazy. Hello, just about to sleep. Guess not. Hey, stay with us. We gotta work. This is regional pilot life. Actually, a pretty easy day. Bring it to Toronto, bring it to Montreal. Usually there's 1 or 2 more flights in there. But thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate that. So what was I looking at? Oh yeah, the departure they want us on today is there's no departure listed in the flight plan, which most likely means there's only one. Hey, there it is. So Philadelphia 3. I'm going to check the ATIS. We already have an ACARS PDC, pre-departure clearance. And departure flight runway heading 245, 5,000 feet. So let's just start plugging some stuff in here. They want 5,000 feet via the clearance. Our runway heading of 245. We're going to quickly check the ATIS, which is probably 27 left for departure, I'd imagine. Yeah, 27 left. Okay, awesome. So 27 left. We'll execute that. Departing arrival. They're planning us on the Ling 3 arrival via Woozy. And we're so far away, guys, we're not going to plug an approach. That's completely useless at this point. So plug all this in there. That's how we do it real life. You can choose not to do that, but that's how we do it real world. Flight number is going to be 933. I'll click radio page, next page. We've got Jazz 933 in there. Awesome. Flight plan perf. Our fuel is 85. Real life, we have to disregard the APU burnt fuel, but in the sim, you put basically what it says right on the ICAS display there. And we're cruising up to 36,000 feet with an alternate cruise. Let me move this to the side. There we go. Alternate cruise of 13,000 feet. The zero fuel weight of 63. 610, which equals a gross rate of 72,000, so probably about a 71.7 for takeoff. Ice will be 4 degrees, and we got super big headwinds on the way. Got minus 70 in the climb, minus 49 in the, that's not too bad, in the cruise, and then minus 30 on the descent, unfortunately. We'll execute that. Next page. Estimated time of departure is going to be 0300. I've kind of moved the time around, so 22 is what the clock says. Probably another, call it 2225. Probably even less, 2217, something like that. Reserve fuel is 1599, so it's going to round up to 1600. Okay, it should round up to the nearest 10, actually. That's a very minute nitpick of a bug, but it should. We're going to leave the flex temperature blank because it doesn't really work in this current version. BNAV, that's the correct climb. Our cruise speed, we're going to be planning at top of climb 253.77, 253/.77. Execute that. Next page is a 4.0 for the glide, for the descent, which is what we want. Radios are auto-tuned for the navigation sources. Our transponder, we did get a squawk code in our PDC, so let me go take a look. It was squawk 6603, and in this current version, you have to, I would recommend putting it on both sides. In real life, this should be on the ground. This is not here. This is blank. You can only enter on this side on the ground. And then depending on if you have ATC 1 or 2 selected, should be on standby, it'll activate which one is blank or not. So that has been addressed in the next one. So clear for this Philadelphia 3, departure 27 left, runway heading at 245, maintain 5 grand, expect 36 10 minutes after, and departure is on 125.325. So we'll put that in now, 25.32. 25.325. Alrighty. It says call center for taxi. They don't say for pushback. So we'll call that pretty much good to go. I'm going to quickly just switch it back so I don't have to listen to that for now, and I'll catch up with some of the comments going on here. Hey, Civil Takeoff, welcome. Hope you're doing well, my friend. It's been a long time since we've hung out and chatted, so if you want to boot on up, if you want to fly with us, we're going to be going to Toronto, and then from Toronto to Montreal, if you want to come along and fly with us later, feel free. The FMS is set up, so click flight plan, copy active. So we've made a secondary flight plan, copy active, and the left side has one. Back to the legs page. Let's see, let's kind of clean this stuff up here. So let's fix the altimeter setting. I'll hit the magic B button. 3010 is what the ATA says, so perfect. That's good to go. 5,000 feet is what we're cleared to via the SID, and I'll brief that shortly. Yaw dampeners are off. We can go ahead and throw those two on. Notice if I click yaw dampener 1, the caution goes away. However, now I get a yaw dampener 2 inoperative. So I'll click yaw dampener 2. And now there's no caution and there's no status. And the YD is gone. Our flight director goes to go to the right-hand side, because we're flying from the right, so it's going to take right side data. V-speeds are in. We need an acceleration altitude, which would be given through us on the TACAR's TLR takeoff report. So we'll just go ahead to the yoke. We'll just add 1,000 to this, so basically 1,000 feet. AGL and MDA, we're going to scroll up to 1,000. We got 1,050 or so, maybe 1,030. Just roughly adding 1,000 feet to our current altitude. There we go. Set. Awesome. And the reason these are different is because this is going towards the what's in here, 267, 400 feet, and vector is 267. That is via the SID. We'll take a look at that. They wanted us runway heading of 245. So let me go ahead and get my charts up and running, and we'll talk about it. So over here, oh, I guess it doesn't have it. We'll pin it ourselves. Philadelphia 3. Hide all that. There's a climb gradient. We'll get to that in a second. But they want an initial climb intersection inset. There's a time, but we've been assigned 245. So really quickly, actually, let me go ahead and check what the actual runway heading, because we technically... So runway heading is 267, so that's what I'm going to bug. Even though he wants us on a heading of 245, we always bug runway heading in case we have an engine out. Most likely the engine out procedure is straight ahead, direct track 267. So we'll bug that to start with, and then once we're in the air, we'll go gear up speed mode, heading mode 245, and we'll start that left turn. It's kind of weird because the clearance says... or is it Philadelphia 3 departure fly? Oh no, sorry, fly heading. That was my mistake. Fly heading 245. So we got 245 assigned. I'm gonna go to the big marker here, if I can. We got 245 as best as I can write it. There you go, close enough. So we have it there for later, and I'll brief you guys in just a second on that one. Let's get the rest of this kind of stuff up, set, ready to go. So APU is online. We'll check the electrics. It's been on this whole time because due to that GSX ground power fiasco that goes on. Electrics are all good. Hydraulics will go auto on. Our cabin pressure, our landing altitude, we're going to set to 580 feet for Toronto. No, it's way too much. Pretty close. I'll do one click down. That should be 580. Perfect. All right, we can go ahead and close this door. So that's been set up. Our seatbelts can get thrown on as well. We're going to hold on the rest of this. I'll give you guys a very quick brief in here. We'll go over to the iPad for it as well. So we'll go to performance, takeoff and landing. And I'm going to refresh the weather real quick and go back to takeoff and landing. So they got us on runway 27 left to be flap 8, flex rolling bleeds open, the flex of 48, but we're going to use full because, again, in the sim, the flex is broken currently. It won't be in the next one, but it is currently. Anti-ice continuous ignition is not required. The minimum visibility is way above what minimum is. If you guys don't know how to find the minimum visibility for your runway, by the way, you'll go to the chart section, go to taxi. Look for the 10-9 alpha page. It's in every airport, 10-9 alpha. And we're taking off 27 left. There's 9 right, 8, 35, 17, 26. It's on this side somewhere. 9 left, 27 left. The lowest is 500 for the company, though. The airport restriction is 500 RVR. The company is 600, so but RVR, which we're more than fine with. But that's how you find it, 10-9 alpha. And if everything's working, it'll be the most left. If things start to break or degrade, lighting systems and so on, the numbers get higher. But still, it's VFR in Philadelphia. Either way, it'll call for a heading of 267 initially, then a left turn 245 up to 5,000 feet. We have a minimum climb gradient on runway 27 left. It's standard, so just 200 feet a mile, so that's all good. We can meet that restriction. And the threats are, it's kind of a late start to the pairing. Maybe you had a bad stay in the hotel. So can brief it everyone. A threat for me personally is the chat. I love to read the chat. So I'll be reading too much of that. Hey, Knight. Hope everything is going well. Thank you for joining on In Productions. Joseph says, does a pack off takeoff sound different than a normal takeoff with the Boris sounds? I have no idea. You probably have a lot less airflow, right? It's very quiet. So I'm sure it would. But in the 900 in real life, I have yet to do a pack off takeoff. We did it in the 200 sims quite a bit. Thankfully, I never had to actually touch a real 200 just to get my check ride on it. But yeah. Anyways, he's all connected. I'm going to read that clearance once over in case he yells at me. But it says, 10 minutes after departure, whatever. Advise ATIS control for taxi. Does not mention pushback. So I'm going to push back at my discretion at this point. We'll get the rest of this going on here. So we'll check our doors page. And I'm already going to know that's not worth my time because everything's still connected. Oh, this is going to be a problem. I have to restart GSX because I can't actually close. Oh, wait, did they do it for me? I think they might have done it for me. Oh, they did do it. Okay, that's pretty cool. So we'll check the doors page here. We're all green. We'll throw on the fuel pumps. We'll throw on the beacon. They're about to push. And the transponder is going to go to the number 2 side because we're flying from the right. You get ATC 2 and the turn's green. Standby is gone. So we'll tell GSX... prepare for pushback and departure. Facing south. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, parking brake released. They're clear to push, face south. He said start at will. That's pretty unrealistic. Usually they'll have us start the engine once we're straight, never really in a turn. So we'll use these beautiful chase plane views, and you guys can comment, and I can read as we push back here. Knight says, it is currently on a nice overnight in the sim from LHR to Hong Kong. Yeah. How's that going out for you? That'd be a pretty cool overnight. I don't know what I did, but the sim is running better nowadays. Not on as much wood as I got. So usually what happens in real life is they'll push you and they'll actually have to pull you. Notice it says aircraft release line. I don't think they do that in GSX, but they'd actually have to pull you up. And only when they pull you up to that line, they'll give you the actual go-ahead for clear to start. Wonder if I can make this realistic. Can I tell them to pull me? No. All right, we'll just tell them to stop here because I don't need to go that far back. But that's what would happen in real life. They pull you all the way there. All the way to the front, and then they'd say you're clear to start once the parking brake's set. But that's a Philadelphia thing, not everywhere. Going pretty good. Watching the sun once parking brake set. So I'd say wait for you do the handle, but that doesn't mean it's set. Always make sure it says it right there, parking brake on, and you tell them parking brake is set, and you let them know to also to advise them, or a little reminder as well, to close the service panel door. It happened a couple times in real life where either it's not secured properly, / it's not secured at all, or just bounces open. But this little panel door here will pop open, and it'll stay open for the duration of the flight at that point, and it makes a very loud sound the entire flight. It doesn't damage the airplane at all. The panel doesn't go anywhere. It's just not good practice. Obviously, you want everything closed up. It doesn't affect pressurization or anything like that. but obviously you want to avoid it and keep it closed because there is, you know, some sort of a risk to it there. A very small one at that. So he's gone. Let's go ahead and start our engines. We'll start number 2. Click and hold the button. We got the start light shown there. We're also going to get the engine start light shown on the ICAS. Start our timer. Put our mode to GPS for the time. Would you ever want to fly in the Caribbean? Yeah, for sure. Seems like a nice place. And we're looking for an N2 of 20% with an ITT below 120. Yeah, thank you. Already doing that. And we'll add fuel, and I'll bring you back so you can hear it. Pretty awesome sounds. Those guys are the Boris sounds. He had given me early access when it first came out, and I'm really appreciative of that. If you guys want your CRJ in the sim to sound like that, the Boris sound pack, I think it's only about $12 or something. 1,000,000% worth it if you fly the RJ. 1,000,000% worth it. I don't know how he gets these sounds. It's like he put like microphones all over the place. Also, guys, if you're new here or you forgot, please hit that like button as well. And I greatly appreciate we got 10 likes so far, so really thank you for that. So number 2 is up and running. Let's go ahead and stop our clock there. We're going to go ahead and start number 1. We'll do it from the inside this time. So we got the engine start message. We'll start the clock. The starter can only be engaged for a maximum of 90 seconds. If after 90 seconds the starter is still on, we'll have to stop the starter, wait 5 seconds, and then we can re-engage the starter. That's usually only needed if the engine had a hot start, and you'd have to motor it to get the ITT below 120. Flight Sim Gaming's in the house, guys. Lonnie, my good friend. If you guys don't know who Lonnie is, Flight Sim Gaming, go check him out on his channel. He streams more than I do, although he does fly the kind of slightly worse RJ of the airplanes. But other than that part, he's a good guy. Go check him out. Just recently celebrated 2,000 subs as well, so that's pretty sweet. Also, the reason I stream, to be honest, is Lonnie. But anyways, we're going to start a cutout. Should be at 50% into. It's a bit bugged in the sim. It happens at 55. That's actually a 200 number. That has, I believe, been addressed in the next one as well. So start a cutout. We'll stop our timer. We'll set to the elapsed time mode. Now that the engines are on the generator, we'll press electrics, and we're going to check that the gens have automatically switched over. So unlike the 737, where you got to transfer your own generators, you don't have to do that in the RJ900. It automatically does it. I don't think you even had to. No, you did have to do it in the 200. 900 does it for you. That's all looking good. We can throw the APU off. So now it's shutting down. We'll close the door. Aft cargo to condition on. Our probe's on as well. We're going to do our rudder check, and I always forget that I go back and fly the current version. I'm always on my beta settings. Little teaser for you guys: when the RJ beta becomes a release version, these are the sensitivities you're going to need. These aren't it. These are just my sliders. This is my pitch. This is my roll. So little teaser for you guys right there, but that is yet to come, and I unfortunately can't show that. But it will be an amazing time when you guys get your hands on that flight model, I'm telling you. I sound like Scarface. We'll go, let's do 75. I kind of always change these because I never really like them anymore. We'll do that. How about that? One dead zone. Cool. And let's do the rudder as well. Perfect, yeah. Cool. Go. Sweet. Don't do that. Flight control page, we're going to go full left on our rudder. It's not going to hit the very edge, and that's because my dead zones and stuff kind of ruin it. But it does work. It's just on my end. It's my peripherals that I have set currently. And with that, we'll put the steering on. We're going to wait on the taxi light until we get clearance. So let's go ahead and grab clearance from this guy if he's still online.
United 617, contact Washington Center 133.72. Good day.
Over to 3372. Thanks, Nick. Have a good one, man. We'll see you next time, right?
See ya.
See ya.
And center, it's Jazz 933 at Philly, just off the pushed off gate Bravo 5. Look, taxi 27 left. Should have told my information with the ATIS. That's okay.
Jazz 933, runway 27 left. Taxi via November and Sierra, cross 27 right.
November Sierra and crossing 27 right, Jazz 933. November Sierra. That's a very, very different clearance than what I'm used to getting. But they don't. I've noticed in VATSIM they don't add the lanes. Let me lower VATSIM. It's pretty loud. There we go. They don't add the lanes to your taxi. They really should. Usually it's lane 11, I think. I guess I don't even have it on this chart, but this would be lane 11, I believe. Anyways, let's bring out this guy. This one might have it. We throw the taxi light on because we got taxi clearance. Once we start moving, I'll do that. Zoom on in. There's Yoham that showed me this trick. I don't know if he's in the chat right now or not. Ronnie, yeah, sorry, I got your comment late there. Boris is amazing. November Sierra. All right, well, there's November.
Turn right heading 070. Climb maintain 1000.
So I assume he means Juliet November Sierra. That's why they usually give a lane, but that's okay. We'll take a right turn out of here. Usually it's a left turn. They have your taxi. Park and brake off. We'll throw the thrust up a little bit. I've got Boris for the PMDG 737 as well. Yeah, that one's really good too. I bought that one. Simple says I find they're more specific with lanes and all that in Europe on VATSIM. Oh, okay. Yeah. What did you just say?
At maintain 7000, the Newark altimeter 3004.
So basically just going straight. As you can see, straight becomes November. We're cleared across 27 right, straight, and then right turn Sierra, hold at Sierra 4 over there. So because it's a pretty quick taxi, I'm going to get my before takeoffs out of the way now. So we're going to go flap 8. We'll get our auto crossflow to manual. Our flight controls, we'll check those. Full left, full right, and full down. Well, up here's spot 8. I believe they have us do a left turn here, and then spot 11 is where they usually have us hold to the, and then you have to switch to ground. This would be apron at this point, and you switch to ground frequency before you get there. Anyways, so that's all set. The cabin would have called up and said that they are ready to take off. Lower VATSIM.
Shamrock 1 Echo Alpha, climbing through my airspace, Boston closed, frequency change approved.
Still a bit loud. So we're on November. The taxiway sign confirms that. And we're cleared across 27 right. In Philly, 27 right is used for landings, 27 left used for departures. So you're always having a way. Throw the taxi light on, I'll throw the strobe light on might as well, because we're going to cross an active runway here. We're clear right. We're go to this side, I guess. Clear left.
November 582, Juliet Romeo, New York Center. Number 2, Juliet Romeo, descend to maintain 5000.
I should probably look what I'm taxing. Ronnie says, is it worth getting SI? What is SI? Say intentions? If it's say intentions, if you're not used to VATSIM and you want a little bit of help with VATSIM and how to talk to controllers and that kind of stuff, I would consider say intentions and or beyond ATC for that. In my opinion, I hate flying with AI, and I will go VATSIM pretty much all the time. Say intentions works amazingly from what I've done with it, but I just hate AI, so I just hate. It's just too delayed, too slow. It's just not real sounding to me.
United 526, descend to maintain 3000.
Okay, as a right turn Sierra, we're going to hold short 27 left. Again, guys, it's runway heading to 420 feet or so, then it's going to be a left turn 245. So we're going to hold short behind this line. Not even one screw can pass that line. We're not holding short technically anymore. I'll give them a couple seconds. I don't like the people that get to this line and they don't like this in real life where you go, ready to go. Give them a couple seconds. Usually there's traffic or something. If it doesn't happen for a good, 30 seconds or so, 40 seconds, because he is controlling a massive part of airspace right now, not just Philadelphia, I'll ring it up. But in real world, I think I've said we're ready to the tower twice in 2 years. It's always a constant motion we're going, right? So I think he doesn't know we're here, so I'll just let him know. And New York Center, Jazz 933 at Philly still. We're short 27 left. Say New York Center, or did I say Philly Center? Oh well, he'll know who it is.
Jazz 933, runway 27 left, clear for takeoff. The Philly wind 32018.
Clear takeoff 27 left, Jazz 933, thanks. So something I did was I forgot those strobes had been on the whole time, but luckily it's daytime, so we're clear takeoff. The strobes are on. Give them a chime to let them know we're about to go. The stat messages have been reviewed. Those are all normal, so we'll go click the stat button. That'll box those. Once we're on the center line, we're going to click this toga button. And I threw on my landing light. Once I got cleared for takeoff, I threw the landing light on there. That's our little signal to ourselves. Alright, let's go ahead and click. TOTO, got takeoff figure okay. 27 left was confirmed and verified. Let's go ahead and throw up the thrust. Just between the screw and the climb, you'll get about 70-75% N1. And click into toga. Oh, toga. I don't have the right detents, so it's going to go all over the place there. And we have thrust set. 80 knots. Report IFR cancellation on the ground or in the air on this frequency. Ronnie, yeah, I do think it's worth it. Maybe for a month, just to kind of practice a bit, and then once you feel kind of comfortable, V1 rotate, by the way, then you can go ahead and get on more VATSIM kind of stuff. You're up. Speed mode, climb 167. Heading mode, 245. Maintain 2,500 until established cleared. ILS runway 22 approach. And we're above 600 feet, so we'll go ahead and engage the autopilot. We're above the acceleration height, that blue line, so we're going to go ahead and bug our speed up to the VT area. And once I see a positive trend like that, we're V2 plus 12, flap 1. And the flaps are in the 1 position, VT minus 15, flap 0. New York Center, JetBlue 1206. 0 and gone, climb thrust. They don't move that fast real world, but it does right now. The climb thrust is set. We'll get the after takeoffs done, and we'll call them that we're 2,000 climbing 5,000. We're going to do climb 250. New York Jazz 933, 2,800 climbing 5,000. Jazz 933, Philly departure, radar contact, turn right, pursue direct Pottstown, climb maintain 10,000. 10,000, right turn direct Pottstown, Jazz 933. All right, so he wants a right turn. I'll just start this right turn kind of going. I'll set 10,000 feet. 2125 runway 22, clear to land the wind 320 at 12. And wrong one. 10,000 feet, kind of a right turnabout there. Pottstown, execute that. The needle is swung over. I'm gonna do it one more time just so it doesn't capture too hard. FMS2 is captured. It's a busy airplane, guys. Busy airplane, but it's a lot of fun. As long as you do it properly, it won't bite you for the most part. Easier with 2 people as well. Notice because we set our time to elapsed time, it's already counting in the time from takeoff, 2 minutes. I'm going to lower V-pilot even more on my end. Let me know, guys, if it's too low for you, but for me, it's crazy loud. So just let me know. Simple says, make it look easy. I rotate in the RJ. I'm at 200 knots in 5 seconds. Yeah, you got to pitch up. You got to keep going up. keep pitching up to about 18 degrees, or whatever the flight director says, but usually it's 15 to 18 degrees, and that pitch is what's allowing you to keep the speed around the 160s area. V2 plus 10 to 20 is what we're targeting. Clouds coming up.
Higher 48 about 10 miles.
No worries, Jazz 933. Clouds are coming up. We're below 10 degrees, so we're above 230 knots. Just the cowl's anti-ice needs to be turned on. If we get the ice light, then we got to throw in the wings as well. No auto anti-ice, flight sim gaming. I know you like your autos in that rinky dink and Embraer. Alt's cap 10,000. I'll bring the thrust back momentarily until we're at 250, until we're at 10,000, but then I'm going to accelerate because we're at 10, so we can keep going. We're going to go up to 320. That's all the little things you got to think about in the RJ. So fast, so much happening in a short period of time. I made a takeoff sheet, glued on the cardboard, and laminated. Works well. Yeah. We're at 10,000. Let's go back into the climb thrust detent, and we can legally accelerate past 250 now. Joe says, can you turn up the sim sounds just a little? Yeah, for sure. Let me know if that's too much or too little. So we are rocketing now. I'm going to keep the cowls on as there's some clouds come up ahead still, and we're below 10 degrees. So going up to 320, and then I'm going to back the thrust back. This autopilot should be doing a better job than that. But let's start working the thrust back.
Jazz 933, climb maintain, flight level 360.
Flight level 360, Jazz 933. And just like real life, as soon as you reach the speed you want, they want you to climb. That's easy happens. So we'll go 360. That's not 360 at all. 360 is set and confirmed. We're going to go vertical speed to start this off. And we're going to target 280 knots. We'll go into climb thrust. And we're going to work this guy down to 280, so we're going to keep increasing this. It's a little bit peppier than what rear wheel would be. We're not too heavy, but we definitely shouldn't really be accelerating with 4,500 a minute. Yeah, I've seen 5,000 in the RJ. We were very light. It can do it. We're above the clouds. We're also above 10. We'll grab the lights. We'll grab the cowl anti-ice off while we're here. Looking like it's pretty smooth and bumpless, so we'll go seatbelts auto. Coming on back down to 280 shortly, and I'll press the speed button, and we'll set it to climb 280.
Cactus 2125, taxi to the ramp via Bravo with me, today.
So there's 280. I'm going to reduce my feet per minute a little bit to get the nose starting to come down, and we're going to press the speed button. Climb 281. We'll just match it up 280. And we are away. Yeah, Simple, that'd be awesome. I finally have pairings now, Simple, so next month, if you're around, I have a full schedule. Let me know. Also, Simple, are you going to FS Expo this year? There's still hotel rooms for 200 a night or so US though, but that's the cheapest you're going to find right now. Also, Sam's didn't recognize you in here, so thanks for joining in, Sam, if you're still here, and thanks for being a part of it. Hope you're enjoying it. You get your fill of the Embraer with Flight Sim Gaming. You'll get your fill of this RJ here. Me and Lonnie should just start a regional airline. That's a pretty big bank. That's a massive bank for 20,000 feet. Went right to 30 degrees. Ronnie, yes, yeah, 280 is the normal climb. There's transition. Every operator climbs differently, however. So I know some do 290, some do 280. Our high-speed climb is 320, and then we transition to 7 to 7 a little earlier. So it just depends on your operator and what the conditions are for the day. But my operator is normal is 280, and then transition into 7-7. 280, 7-7 is normal for us.
United 526. Can we enter the ramp at Romeo Mike? We're going to Charlie 1-3.
He's gonna say yeah, whatever.
Roger, taxi via Whiskey 2 Yankee Romeo Mike.
Whiskey 2 Yankee Romeo Mike. Take care now, United 526.
Hey Reed, hope everything's going well, my friend. Thanks for jumping in on Saturday. Simple says it's literally a week before starting school. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I had to ask you. It makes me nervous. Otherwise, I want to gotta read the radio and P-Star stuff. Yeah, you gotta start on that stuff already. Simple takeoff. I'm gonna give you a question right here. This question you can answer in the chat, or you can text me. Doesn't matter to me. But one of the questions that I find hilarious on the radio that you can study for, it's in the study guide. Who administers the radio exam? That's a question on the test. You can text me the answer if you want. And if you don't know it, I can let you know. It's anyways. That one bothered me. ERJ better than CRJ all the way. Yeah, did you see that climb, Lonnie? I don't know. I don't think so, buddy. Good luck on a mountain when you lose your engine. Have fun. Climbs much better than the Twin Otter for sure. Yeah, it definitely does. Me and Lonnie joke almost every day whenever we're flying. Lonnie says the government. I don't think that's even. Maybe it's true. Simple, your second answer there is correct. Yeah, that's the one. It might have been for me. No, it was not. I like the late stream timing. I rarely see anyone live at this time. Yeah, honestly, I don't have a live schedule. I just go live when I'm not hanging out with friends or not doing anything, not working, and I'm like, you know what? Let's go live. How I know? Sorry. Now I'll take that thing over a mountain. No problem. Yeah, have fun. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. I was saying on your chat the other day, when we do our in the sim, when we do our terrain avoidance procedure training, or terrain awareness training, I should say. In the simulator, you'll hear the terrain, but they want you to start the procedure at terrain pull up, just to simulate at the worst case. So terrain pull up. You throw the thrust in the toga position, not the max thrust, unless terrain collision is imminent. Then you go to max thrust. Fun fact, it takes 40 pounds of pressure to get the max thrust, by the way. Anyway, in real life. Anyways, so you throw the thrust in toga. As you're doing that, you're pulling up, and you're going to constantly keep pitching up until you're just faster than the stall pitcher. So you'll be riding the pitcher as you're pulling, and when you do that in the CRJ, in the professional, real 20 million, whatever, bajillion dollar sims, you're getting 13, I've seen 14,000 feet per minute. And you're just climbing out of that valley. Now, single engine, you'd probably more in the, if I had to guess, depending on the density, altitude, and the temperature that day, probably closer to the 1 to 2 range. Maybe a bit more. But the Embraer has, and this isn't knocking the Embraer, it's just factual that it's a heavier airplane with the RJ engines. It has CF34 8C5s, which is the engine the RJ uses. It's the engine the A10 used to use. At least they had an older version of it, not the 8C5 version. But it doesn't have the performance. It just can't do it. Someone says innovation, science, and economic development. I have no idea what that even is, but sounds cool. Night Production says, I like the late night. Oh, I already read that one. Oh no, I didn't read that one. I like the late nights since I'm a night owl. Yeah, me too. I hate mornings personally. Reed says, I'm getting close to my solo in real life. Beat up the pattern this morning with 8 crosswind landings for some practice. Hey, yeah, that's always a good one. Always a good one. And if you have your instructor still, I assume you do because you're not solo yet. It's always a good idea once you think you start to get a bit comfortable, your instructor should already naturally be exposing you to less comfortable things as you go, and then you get comfortable with that and so on. what I get here. Got someone message me. Pat, runway, are you planning into YYZ? I'm trying to coordinate with you. Me, FLE 642. I haven't checked. Let me check the ATIS in Tawana. It's probably the two. It's probably, I thought I'm losing the 33s earlier. I'll bring this guy over here. Toronto, weather, ATIS. Oh yeah, I forgot to. All right, let's go over here. I'll determine it myself. Flight plan, refresh. There got wind of 240 at 7. It's gonna be 24 left. So I'll write to this guy 24 left. They never land 2-3 unless it's a heavy or you're close to the GA FedEx area, and they'll never land to 2-4 right because it's too close to 2-4 left, or it's too close to 2-3 or some weird operation they got going on. Anyways, where was I? Flight Sim Gear says that's insane numbers. 13,000 feet per minute. How many degrees pitch is that? You're up there. I don't know the number. And it has to be in the 15. No, it has to be in the 25 zone. 20-25. Like you're going. You're going. Next time, there might be a video on YouTube actually. If you can check one out. It doesn't have to be the RJ. Just go check out terrain awareness or train pull up procedure. 737. You'll probably find it. They do. It's insane climb rates that these airplanes can actually do. Not the Embraer, but I'm just joking. I'm just joking around. The Embraer is an awesome plane. I've never flown it. I've heard it's very easy, very simple, and it takes care of you quite a bit. But when you fly the RJ, there's a bit more work you got to do. So you'll put that bit more work on a chip on your shoulder and carry it around with you. Someone says, did you used to pull engine on your students at night or you had mercy? No, I do it at night. So at the nighttime, depending where you are, in the daytime, I would pull it randomly. And when a student got pretty comfortable, right after takeoff, 250, 300 feet, I'd throw idle on them. I'm not actually going to kill a mixture, but I'd throw idle on them to see what they do. Most students at a 300-foot takeoff, 35 or 36, most students at that low, when you throw their idle, or you throw the throttle to idle, you usually have a big panic face. And the reason I would teach it is because I want their first reaction to not be panic face, which it might be in the future because they won't be used to it, but I want their gut reaction to be pitch for 65, pick a field in front of you. So I used to, and that's the glide speed of the 172 with flaps up, 60 for flaps down. I don't know if I remember that. Anyways, there it is. So I would, after they got comfortable with forced approaches out in the PA, and they maybe haven't gotten solo just yet, because I'd like to do it before solo. At least I used to. They'll take off, they'll be at like 70 knots or something. We're nose up, about 300 feet above ground, and I just throw the throttle idle. Alts cap at 37. They want us cruising at 7.7. And eventually, you'll get that gut response of 3 trims nose up in the 172, 65 knots, look out ahead. And then I would pull that at nighttime. I think that, from memory, that might be a requirement to show. I have to look back at it if they I have to do a precision 180 at night in the circuit. I could be wrong about that. I probably am, but I think it was an insurance thing. But yeah, I would do it. Yeah, you gotta stretch. You gotta. As an instructor, you have to be confident in your abilities to keep everybody safe, but you also have to make your student a tiny bit uncomfortable in some situations to then get them comfortable when they need to be comfortable. So I don't want your first night landing in crosswinds to be by yourself. We'll go up at night with crosswinds, and I'll be there for you. That's kind of the instructor mentality. Now, if you don't have the skills to back up your instructing, it's where it becomes a problem. So you have to know your limits as well. Reed says, yeah, he exposed me to a power off 180 last week. I like my normal smooth approaches better. Yeah, hey, you get used to the power 180s. So what's really fun, once I showed a student P180s, and we went for and we kind of did it a few times. They got comfortable. I would do then P180s. By the way, guys, if you don't know what a P180 is, it's you're on the downwind leg, and your instructor is going to reduce your thrust or throttle power or whatever to idle. and you have to glide all the way from downwind to final. So once they got used to that in regular wind conditions, we'd start going up in crosswind conditions, gusting 25, gusting 28, and I'd kill their engine in that. And now you got to play the wind, and the wind's a big factor if you lose your engine, I'll tell you. Dominic, thank you so much for the 1 month membership. I believe, if I remember, you got the upgraded new little thing next to your name, little logo, if you type in chat. I could be wrong about that, though. Gile, hey, welcome. Does this plane still have bugs? I mean, every plane has bugs. There's not many that I've run into on the V2. There is some that are not correct. But for the most part, I can fly at A to B just fine. The V2, oh, sorry, this is the V2, but I'm on the beta team for the next update to come out to this. And that'll be even better than what this one is. So the V2 is a good foundation for what's to come later on. I think you'll be quite impressed. Reed says that's uncomfortable. Sorry, that uncomfortable point is very true for me. I used to get really uncomfortable with GEAs because of how fast everything... I'll go around, I assume, how fast everything happens, but it's only because I get through that feeling that I'm comfortable. That's it, man. I had an instructor, my good buddy, who... This is actually a good idea. Simply, you met him. The name is John. He would... Before he would teach you a circuit or how to land, he would teach you the missed approach, which is actually good. They do 5 missed approaches, 5, 6, 7 missed approaches in that 1 hour, and then that's it. And you come back next time, and in case you had to do a missed approach... you're already locked in, which 99.9% of times your first approach is going to be a missed approach. Very rarely are they committable. But Jordan says you do a lot of Canada ops. My guess you are a jazz pilot. You can guess whatever you like, but that's I cannot confirm nor deny. Reed says obviously not the most uncomfortable maneuver out there, but it still was learning point for me. Yeah, 100%. Dominic says you flying in and out of YYZ, YYZ because I plan. So Domino, I've actually dropped that pairing. So I might pick up a different one that goes in there, but currently I'm not.
Okay, squawk 4236, cross Briggs at 14,000.
So it says, did you guys end up going to Zets today with John? No, it did not.
Air Canada 1392 heavy, runway 22 left, clear to land, the wind variable at 6. Runway 22 left, wind flat, Air Canada 1392.
Drink some water here, my throat's starting to go. Yeah, Dom, well, I might still be able to. Pairings pop up every day, 2 to 3 of them, so I'm off until, well, actually, I'm off till the 4th of June. Wednesday I'm going to Vegas for vacation, but up until Wednesday I'm able to pick up flights. So if something comes up into the open time, I'll let you know and I'll pick it up, and yeah, that's kind of it. I don't know where I was going with that story. I guess I'll give you guys a better view than this, eh? Let's go do that. There you go. Put a thrust up a tiny bit. Reed says, did you go any college or flight training like Riddle or no? So I did. I basically did an equivalent of a 141 school, I think is what you guys call it. It's a 1 year, 1.5 year, 0 to ATP. And in that year, you'll get a private license, commercial, IFR night, and all that kind of stuff. Or IFR, multi-IFR is what I meant to say. So you get everything. And then after when I graduated, it was 2020 when I graduated, so it's probably been 5 years. It's kind of insane. Anyways, COVID hit, so no one's hiring anything. So I did really nothing for a year and a half, and then I became an instructor in end of 22, start of 23, instructor for a year, and then I'm at the airline I'm at now. That was my kind of little road trip. I got in at a really good time because hiring is kind of slowed right down. We're kind of stacked, and everyone's kind of stacked in FOs, but that'll probably change in the next year to 2 years as FOs leave companies or become captains, whatever. They need more FOs. Holy! I wasn't expecting that one.
JetBlue 255 near.
Reed, yeah, you don't get your ATPL fully signed off. You still got to hit your 1,500 hours, but you get the writtens out of the way.
250 knots. Could I get the altimeter, please? Thank you.
Knight says, can you still get in 141 school having PPL and instrument if you know? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to go ahead and say probably not. You might be able to get in with just a PPL, but I'm going to go ahead and say you probably can't get in with a PPL and an instrument, to my knowledge.
Continental 220 heavy, New York.
Oh, you know what I didn't do? That's my fault. That should be on VNAV.
Runway
Should be on. There you go.
from Patrick.
That ND looked a bit weird. Although it doesn't give you any information anyways in the sim. I should probably start working here shortly. 20 minutes to Woozy, so probably about 30 minutes to Pearson. So as I flew back home yesterday, it was cool to see how northerly our track was. It was usually on Nats, but we flew way north of that over Greenland. That's pretty cool. Pretty sweet. Let's start planning our ILS 24 left in Toronto with the Ling 3 arrival via Woozy.
225 contact New York approach.
So first things first, we'll get the weather. Oh, I should probably actually answer this guy's text message on VATSIM. I forgot about that. Sorry about that. If you're watching.
Air Canada 1392 cross for correction taxi straight ahead November cross 22 right and taxi via right turn on Alpha to parking with me. And FedEx 7335, I think that was you calling back. Thank you.
All right, there we go. Responded. What was I saying here? Oh, yeah, we'll start planning our approach. Dom says, I only know some programs would accept PPL, nothing more than that. Yeah, I agree with you. So, got the weather. It's still, let's refresh it. 3014 in Toronto. We'll put 3014 in our standby. Have it for later. 240 at 7, so we're definitely going to be using the 24s. I'll use 24 left, as usually in Pearson they'll do 23 departure, 24 left arrival, and then 248's kind of just there for reasons. I don't know why the floor light's on. We'll turn that off. So with that, let's get our 0 fuel weight plus our predicted landing fuel. Now in the sim currently the predicted landing fuel doesn't work, so there's a bug.
933, leave airspace. Cleveland Center's closed. Frequency change is approved today.
Okay, over the Unicom, Jazz 933. Have a good night. 228, throw that in there. And we're going direct Woozy currently. So, another bug. So whoever was asking bugs, I'm finding them right now. But I've already mentioned them and they've been addressed in the next update. But this is the current build, public build. So, notice our fuel isn't, or our gross weight isn't automatically updating, which it should be. Notice that. Anyways, we're going to be predicting to land with 3,900 pounds, and I found that through the flight plan. In real life, it should be displayed here, and if it's not there, it should be, but if it's not there, you can also go progress and it'll be here, which it's not there anyways, so I use the OFP. So we're predicting 4,000 pounds on landing. We currently weigh 69.6, so basically 70, sorry, 0 fuel weight, what am I talking about? We weigh 60, we'll round it up to 64, so it's going to be a 68,000 pound landing. If you guys know how I did that, the flight plan predicts a landing fuel of 4,000 pounds, just under. The 0 fuel weight, this is our weight without fuel, is currently 63.6. So I'll add my landing fuel to this number, and we get our landing weight. So 4,000 plus 60 will round up to 64. You're not really supposed to do that, but in the sim I'm going to. We're 68. So 64 plus 8, or plus 4 is 68. I'll put that in here. 68,000 pounds. We're landing on 24 left. It's dry. We'll refresh the METAR just in case. Reversers, none, as there's no contamination, no snow slush. Don't require reverser. Now, this is kind of misleading. It doesn't mean we're not going to use reverse thrust. We're just going to put the engines in idle reverse. We're not going to use anywhere near max or anything. We're going to click them into reverse and leave them there. We're not going to actually click them and pull them up. We're just going to click them in the reverse and idle reverse, and that's about it. So we'll put none. Unless it's contaminated, we actually use reverse. In 2 years of flying the RJ, I've used the reverser, like actually pulled it past idle once. VREF, there's no gusts, so we're going to leave it on VREF. No need to add any of these extra knottages. That's not a 3.7. We're not an Airbus. We don't add extra speeds if we don't have to. So we keep it VREF. Calculate landing distance. We're using 3,100 feet out of 9,000 feet. So we'd go over here and we'd set our HCP, our HUD control panel, set this to VMC. Our length is 9,000. It's just saw from that chart. Our elevation is from the chart here. Take a look at our speed real quick. Doing good. Charts approach 24 left. I think it's like 547 or something like that. See how close I am. 547. All right, cool. I think I can brief this approach now in my sleep. We'll go 547. 3-degree slope is set. And we're going to set our MDA. It is visual, so we're not going to necessarily need it, but we'll set it 750. So we'll round up. So we'll go ahead and set 750 in there. The reason we round up, in the sim, you're able to go down by 1 digits, but in real life, it's actually down by tens, every tens, which I have mentioned. We'll reset our heading bug. So hopefully that gets fixed as well. That's been set. I'm going to check my speed card to get a landing, our V2 go around speed and our VFTO speed. So while I get that out, you guys can look at a nice airplane there. So we're landing at 69,000 pounds. There we go. If you guys want to see it, I can show you what I'm talking about here. Possibly. Okay, well, we should be back. That was weird. Anyways, I'll show you guys what we were doing here, if I can pull this chart back up for you without it freezing on me. Alright, so we're landing at 69,000 pounds. There it is. So our VREF will be 135. Our V2 in the go-around, if needed, will be 144. So we're going to go set that down here. I'm going to move this chart away from you. So we'll set this guy over to V speeds, and we're going to click the select button until we're at our V2, and it's 144. Set it over to target. Our VFTO is 191, and that's all been set. And Chase Plane is doing this thing where it does this weird zoom in thing when I right click. I'm gonna press escape. Alt tab. Don't know what gets rid of that, but if you guys know, let me know, please. Had that bug a couple times. Let me know if you guys are all back. You should be in the same stream here. Yeah, we are. Cool. Awesome. But yeah, it's still doing this little weird thing. Let me get Chase Plane out here. Always something with this sim, man. There's a way I thought to turn it off. Encoder overload. I think click to zoom is a keybind in Chase Plane. I don't know what encoder overload is. Yeah, I never mapped right click to zoom though. Unless you're saying when it glitches out, it just automatically does that by default. But you can see it's just doing that. Anyways, 2-4 left. I've had this a couple times and it kind of goes away. Via vectors, we're going direct woozy. Yes, we are. So we'll sequence that up. Youth 250 above 11 below 13. Bimpo 210 8000. Verco Mayred Denki Davno done all. Vector the ILS 24 left starting at Liz to Curix 1970. Runway 24 left, a ref of 139. That seemed a bit. Oh yeah, we're actually 68,000 pound cards. This is why I check this stuff. 68,000 pound card would put us at a ref speed of 134 is actually what it's supposed to be. And we go over here. Our VT V2 go around is 143, 1 knot. And our VFTO was 190. That's set as well. So, 24 left, a ref of 134. Then it's IDP to PEPFO, holding at PEPFO 200 and 4 knots slash 30,000. Confirmed, executed. Both pilots happy with that. We'll press the execute button. We're all set up for the ILS-24 left via Link 3 woozy transition. Let me know how it still is, guys. Hey, VSeth, hope everything's going well, my friend. Thanks for stopping in. I think it's the first time I've seen you, so if you don't mind pressing the like button and subscribing, we'll I've seen you in other chats, so your name sounds familiar, but thanks for jumping in. Any reason why the CRJ doesn't have auto throttle? Yeah, big reason, actually. Money. If they added an auto thrust to this airplane, then let's say you're an operator, you're an airline who has CRJ 200 or the CRJ 700s and 900s. The 700 has no auto throttle, the 900 had auto throttle. Now you have two different type ratings. Certain places of the world, the 200 and the 900 are similar type ratings as well. So let's say you're a company that has 200s and 900s, which a lot of them did, you'd have to have two separate type ratings now. So money. There's no point for it. Doesn't need it. The pilots are trained. We're all trained to just, we are the auto throttle, and you get so used to it, and it becomes a bit of a game actually near the end. It's kind of actually a little bit more fun than having auto thrust, in my opinion. But that's the main reason. Money. Money. I would really like to get rid of this zoom thing that's going on. If anybody has any ideas, I think Lonnie said something about encoder overload. Click to zoom is a keybind in chase plane. I don't have that one mapped. I don't believe anyway. Zoom in and out is plus or minus. Move up, down. Mouse look, hold, move laterally. Do you get more control with no auto throttle? Well, you have all the control, so I don't really know how to answer that question, but yeah. You are the control. You're constantly moving them. Here, zoom control, everything's unmapped that way. Let's keep going down. But yeah, I didn't map anything. It just sometimes happens where something bugs out and then the chase plane will automatically keep just doing this kind of zoom in thing. I'm just going to keep turning it off and on. See if that fixes it up. That's still doing it. Still doing it. Oh, I got it. Oh, I think I see what you're talking about. Lonnie, if you're still here. The mouse wheel. If you click the mouse wheel in, it does this. Click the mouse wheel again, it doesn't do it anymore. But now my sim is running like trash. Fun times. This issue I've never seen with chase plane. I'm usually mouse freezes up for like 30 seconds. Yeah, I think it's I press the mouse wheel and it does it, but if I unpress them or if I press the mouse wheel again, it goes back to normal. So I think we're crisis averted. We'll add a bit of thrust for the time being. So guys, for descending, a lot of people struggle with descending this airplane. We'll start this off from scratch. In the CRJ 900, at least my operator wants idle thrust descents. That's the way the flight plan's built. That's for fuel reasons. That's the way the FMS prediction logic for fuel used, or fuel prediction is predicted. It's predicting an idle descent. So we want an idle descent. The next question is, what feet per minute allows an idle descent and holds your speed? In the CRJ, in real life, it's 3,000 feet per minute. The new flight model will reflect that. In this flight model, it's way too draggy. There's too much drag going on. That'll be changed, don't worry. So we want a 3,000 foot per minute descent. So the question becomes, when do I descend? Everyone says it has no VNAV. Two misconceptions. One, the CRJ NG does have VNAV on it. It's not really that good in real life. A second misconception is every CRJ has advisory VNAV, even the 200 did. You can see this is an advisory VNAV It's saying there's a descent coming up for youth, above 11,000, below 13,000. The top of descent's in 13 minutes, 81 miles to this point. I currently require 2,000 feet per minute. If I started right now, if I started early, I would need 2,000 to meet this restriction. I want 3,000, so I'm going to wait until this says 2,800 feet per minute, and then I'm going to go down at 3. The reason we lead by 200 feet per minute, actually, because these clouds are out here, you might need some anti-icing. In real life, I'd actually lead that by 400. I would start down when it says 26. But the reason we start down earlier is because once we get, if we're going idle thrust 290 knots, which is our profile at 3,000 feet a minute, we're never going to slow down. So we're going to start a little earlier, so then when we get to 12,000 feet, or whatever restriction, I can reduce my rate of descent because I've started earlier. I can shallow it out, and I can slow to 250 knots or whatever speed required. So we're going to wait for this number to count up to 20, because the icing conditions, well, this airplane in the sim is very draggy. So we're going to just wait till it says 2,800 feet per minute in the sim, and we're going to go down at 3. In real life, I would start down when it's at 26. But the sim is a little more draggy than real life one. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. I have an entire descent video on my channel that you guys can use. Looks like the frames are kind of coming back. We're in the 90s. It's just a bit of stuttery, and I think that was because of the whole chase plane fiasco there. So we're at 2,400 feet a minute. I'll give you guys some outside views of our plane, and then we're going to jump back inside for the descent. Hope everyone's night's going swimmingly.
Nice. It's all on that go around right there.
And someone in our chat just pointed out, they sent me a message through VPilot, but there's something about a 24 left closure, and I actually just pulled up the NOTAM. Runway 6 right, 24 left closed. Available as a taxiway west of Delta 3. Effective 24th of May, which is today, until tomorrow at 6 a.m. So they're probably doing a runway inspection, some maintenance. So we're going to replan for 24 right. So we'll quickly go ahead and press 24 right. Legs page, we're still going direct to woozy. We're going to start our descent now as well. Vertical speed 3,000 feet per minute, idle thrust, and we're going down. We're going to give ourselves 11,000 because we have no ATC, so we're just going to do what I want. Westing, Iston, Ling, Bimpo, Verco, Mayra, Danke, Davno, Dunall, Vector, 24 left, starting at Herbal, No Hut, 2010. Let me actually confirm this and not do this by memory. It's a bad thing to do, but let's unpin that approach. Toronto. Approach, 24 right. Pin that guy up there. NOHA 1970. That's why we don't do memory. 1970. Oh, I didn't even do it. Okay, cool. We'll leave it blank. Hold the clear button and it'll clear everything. Oh, yeah. There we go. I was gonna say maybe that's a new feature. Notice how draggy this airplane is. Real life, it wouldn't be slowing down that much. I'm gonna add thruster. Herbal NOHA. Runway 24 right, a ref of 134. The missed approach is still announced to PEPVO, holding at PEPVO 204 knots slash 3000. We'll confirm and execute that guy in there. The low frequency is 1093.
Roger, November 555.
And it's set left and set right. Transition to the IS, we're going to go 290. So after 31,600 feet, it'll change to IS and 290. Adding thrust to get up there because the airplane in the sim is a little too draggy. The MDA now is changed to 800. Reducing thrust for 290. 800 is set. We would have to redo the HCP. I'm not going to do that. We'd have to redo a calculation for the takeoff, the V2 go around. Sorry. We have to recalculate for the landing length used. But we're not going to do that. We'll be fine in the sim. Yeah, my FPS has tanked for unknown reason. I guess getting close to Toronto. I don't know. VSF says your CRJ video helped me a lot. I haven't flown the CRJ in a minute, so the video was a great refresher. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope it did. Reed says I fly on the CRJ in July, and I feel like I'll appreciate it more after learning all this stuff. Yeah, if you hear a lot of engine sound or changes, that's because we're all doing that manually. And some captains aren't afraid to just go, you know, descend 290, and just throw them back. I don't like to do that. I like to walk the thrust back nice and gradually. But, you know, people are different, so. So what's happening is the frames are high. I'm in the 80s. But what's happening is some stutter. So someone had told me,
November 197
if you unclick that, I'm going to also disconnect from VATSIM real quick. Apply and save. Return it on, apply and save. Return it on, or unpause, connect back to VATSIM. And we're in an uncontrolled area, so I can do that. And it's still terrible, so doesn't work. Where are you going though, Reed? By the way, we got 33 viewers in the chat, so much thanks for that. And if you please press the like button, we're hitting a like goal of 3.2 million today. So if you guys don't mind hitting the like button. No, like goal is 40 for today's stream. It's going to be a bit of a long stream, so I think we can make it. We're only about 13 away. We're 3 away from 30. Simple says, when ATC gives you a speed to maintain through the transition, would that be the flight level 360 in the RJ you mentioned? For the RJ, it's 31,600. So yeah, through the transition for the RJ, it's 31,600 feet. And the airplane would automatically transition you from your Mach to 290. Now, they can say that, or they might say, hey, we want you to transition, like maintain 290, transition 7 or 7.8. Now it's on you. It's on you to take note of you're at 290, and let's give a better example. Transition. They wouldn't obviously do this because we're lower, but transition 297 6.5 or 0.65. So we're at 290. I'm gonna wait till we're at Mach 0.65, and then I transition myself into Mach mode. So sometimes it's on you to watch for these Machs in the indicator when they match. But if they just say through your transition, then it's default at 31.6 just for the CRJ at least. So it depends what they ask, how they ask it, what they want. But if they say maintain 290 then 0.8, or 0.8 then 290, you have to get to 0.8, and whenever 0.8 equals 290, you just switch over to 290 through your descent, or vice versa in the climb. So sometimes it's on you. Visa says that you mean 3.2 billion. We're going for it. Let's do it. Being 6 foot one, I try to avoid flying CRJs, but I like to show them some love when I'm plane spotting. Yeah, I'm 6'4", so the RJ for me, the bathroom's not fun. The 200 was much worse. The flight deck's not bad actually for me. It's really good. But I find the seats, at least for my company, when I'm deadheading, are pretty comfortable. I actually like them more, Lonnie, than the Embraer. I'm more comfortable in the RJ. Hey, Michael. I recognize you. You were in Lonnie's stream the other day. Thanks for jumping on it. Is this plane easy to learn? I could be biased, but I'm going to say no. It's a bit more work than your regular press go button jets. Go transition to 31.4. It's awesome plane once you get to learn it, and if you want to learn it, it's awesome. But it's not going to be a jump in and go. If you do that, you're going to see everything's bugged, and it's most likely user error. But that's just my take on it. Some people may have different things here. So notice we're at 3,000 feet a minute. 2,100 feet still required. We need youth at 250, above 11, below 13. Once we're below 13,000, I'm going to reduce this rate of descent, or maybe even just slightly before, and we're going to slow to 250. So let's go ahead and bug 250 knots. So we're just set up in our brains to do that. You'll be much happier in an Airbus. Yeah, exactly. Airbus takes care of you. You know, it feeds your dog while you're away. It flies the airplane for you. When you take manual control, the flight computer makes you think you're taking manual control with that little toy of a side stick. But when you fly the RJ, it will try to kill you. So you'll have to be ahead of the game. Most CRJs don't have VNAV in real life. Some do, but most don't. Couple VNAV. They do all have advisory VNAV, however, which is this green text here. They do all have that. Yeah, VSEF had a good there. A little more work, but very rewarding. So you're coming down. We're coming down through 13,000 now. So we've basically already made the restriction below 13. I'm gonna get to basically 13,000, and I'm gonna start shallowing out my descent here. So let's go. We're below 13,000. Let's just do 1,200 a minute. Idle thrust, and we're gonna select 250 knots, which we already had done. No spoilers required. If you need spoilers, don't be afraid to use them. You can always whack on more spoiler if you need. We're no spoilers currently. We've already made the restriction. We're below 13 and we're above 11,000. Now we're just slowing for 250 and the restriction has been made. And the reason I know we've made it is because the 11,000 foot marker, we've programmed 11,000 feet, and 11,000 feet is displayed right past this waypoint. So we're gonna be in the bucket. We're not gonna be below 11. And we're nicely slowing down for 250. There's 12 for 11,000 feet. You can see it's like magic. Look at that. Just kissing 250, the waypoint turns white, and we've passed it over to BIMPO. BIMPO is 8,000 feet. Let's go ahead and bug 8,000 feet in from now. And notice how nice this worked out. BIMPO at 8,000 feet wants 1,300 a minute. Okay, well, I'll just go 1,300 a minute. It also wants 210 knots, so we're going to bug 210. We're not in a rush to slow down just yet. There's two ways to do this. We can get down quick and slow down, or we can just keep a nice shallow descent rate and keep idle thrust and let it just slow down progressively as we get closer. And we can also just use spoilers if we need. So once we get to the 1 minute mark, I'll start using spoiler if we need it. There's 1 minute. So we've lost about 5 knots. That took about, it took a bit long there. So we'll wait till we're about halfway there and I'll kick on the spoiler if needed. Whoa, we're getting to 10,000 feet. So we'll go with taxi light on. We'll dig the belts. And we're getting some wisps of cloud. It's technically would have needed the anti-ice on for that. But we're going to be through it pretty quickly here. We'll go ahead and box these messages. All right. Whoa, bit of lag. Okay, I'm kind of done with this lag now. I'm kind of done with it. 230 slowing for 210. Got about 1,500 feet to lose. It's going to work out quite nicely, as you can see, guys. We're just slowly, progressively slowing down. It wants 1,100 feet a minute. I'll just match it up with 1,100 feet per minute. Again, if needed, I can just use my spoilers, but haven't needed them yet. We can see our preview ILS has been popped up in blue needles. Just 9,000, 8,000. 1,000 feet per minute required, 1,000 feet per minute set. We're just going to keep walking it back, whatever it wants. And I just used quick CPU to get myself into high performance CPU mode, and hopefully that'll get rid of some of the stutters here. And I'm going to go back to balanced mode. Alts cap 8,000, 210. Again, guys, it's like magic. It just works. So that's kind of the fun, rewarding part of the CRJ. Once you learn the physics behind the airplane a little bit and the power settings, and so it gets quite nice to just be your own VNAV in a kind of a way and make these restrictions. So the next thing we're going to do, and we do have advisory there, but next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this right downwind basically. Usually what they do is have us descend to 4,000 feet. So I'll do 4,000 in there. Now, because we're at 210 with that restriction of 210 at BIMPO, we have to maintain 210 unless told otherwise, basically. Or unless they say clear for the approach as well, that means we can slow. So instead of doing vertical speed and me having to worry about speed, I'm just going to click the speed button, which is like flight level change. Now it's descend 210. Now the airplane's only going to descend and maintain 210 knots. And you might be saying, well, it's not descending all that much. That's because I have thrust up. You reduce the thrust to idle. The airplane goes, uh-oh, no more speed. It noses down for the speed. Pretty simple. That's how flight level change works, or speed mode. I have a video on that as well. And now we're turning off to the right. You can see downtown Toronto. And I don't know why this is so stuttery. I really can't understand it right now. Always when I get to Toronto, it just starts to lag like crazy. See that? It's literally the Toronto scenery. It's fine over here, Pearson, and it lags. But anyways, so now we're descend 210, looking okay. 4,000 feet, 800 set there. We've already checked that the lokes were set up and good to go. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. The LNAV in the V2 is so much better than the original as well. It looks like Toronto is logged offline, unfortunately, so we're just going to go to 18.7, which is the CTAF frequency. Basically the tower frequency, but everyone's offline, so I'll just broadcast my intentions. Pearson traffic, Jazz 933, approximately 10 miles to the, correction, 15 miles to the southeast. We're on the right downwind, basically 6,000, 74,000, 24 right is planned. I try to give a more of a VFR call than an IFR call. If I were to say I'm 6,000 direct Mayrod, if someone's landing 2-3, they have no idea where Mayrod is. They won't. That won't be part of their star, perhaps. So I'll just say I'm 15 miles or whatever to the south, to the north, to the east, some sort of altitude, and that kind of can, someone can kind of in their head spatially orient themselves of where I am physically, and not a waypoint, if that makes sense. High-end presets. High-end presets, top of descent set to 10,000 or 100. It's all you need. Your settings are very high. I mean, buddy, I got a 14 Gen i7. Like, CST runs max on these guys, but I'll set it. What's interesting is when I'm flying out of Toronto, when I start there, I have 100. But when I fly into Toronto, it tanks. I don't understand why. It's a $4,500 computer, 4080, 14 Gen i7, overclocked, DDR5, sorry, 64 gigs of that, 1300 power. There shouldn't be a problem with this sim. We'll go heading sync, heading mode, green needles.
42 is clear of 24 right on Charlie for taxi.
Oh, we have the bug.
Toronto.
Oh, do we have the bug? Green needles, please. Oh, I'm doing the wrong one. That was my fault. We don't have the bug. I'm joking. Green needles. And I keep doing the same thing. Green needles there. 3014. We're going to sequence the FMS. And what that means is we're on heading mode, green needles, which the course is wrong. In the sim, it's always wrong. It should be auto set for us. But I'll set it. 237. So what sequencing means, I'm going to get rid of all this garbage. And we're going to focus on that. So Edbull. Throw it in there. Intercept course of 237. And we'll execute that. We're going to give ourselves a turn to the right, somewhere around there. And we're going to continue descending to 3,000 feet. I clicked it too many times. Descend to 10. We're going to go flap 1. You shouldn't notice any difference on how the sim looks. Yeah, I mean, 2020 looks pretty good, I guess, regardless, right? Hooked on golf said VSync. No, VSync locks your frames at 60. You never want to use VSync if you can avoid it. All right, we're on this kind of a base leg. Here's some traffic jazz 933, 10 mile left base, 24 right. Toronto. We're going to slow to 190. We're going to bring up the progress page 2, next page, and we're going to arm approach once we're under 1 mile, guys. That's when we're going to arm approach, if it actually works. Yeah, it is working. It's counting down. So do a heading of 330 or so. Here comes 190. Let's go flap 8, slow to 180. We're just keeping it idle thrust for now. So I've had a question lately is when's the best time to arm approach? Either when the loc starts to move or you're under 1 mile in the cross track there. That's what we do real world. The CRJ in real life has massive localizer capture issues. So that's what we do. Turning left 300 for a little bit. And we're going to continue this left turn to 270. A little bit of thrust for 280. Or a lot of thrust for 280. Now that just jumped to miles, so we're under a mile basically. Oh, now we're going to click the approach button. And we got loc 0, glide slope armed. And once this loc starts to move inbound, guys, the airplane should go from loc armed to loc captured. It should actually say loc 2, and it'll say loc 2 in green once it's captured. So we're going to fly straight a little bit more. Go back to the legs page in case we got to go missed. I'm going to set my view up here because we're getting all laggy. There's loc 2 captured, or capturing. Here's traffic jazz 933, 9 mile final 24 right. Make sure I'm on the right thing here. 18.7, yep. And you can see we're half a dot above the glide slope, so it's going to descend when it intercepts. I got the gear down so we can just add a bit of drag for that. Add a bit of thrust until it starts to descend. I feel it's more than enough to run the sim on Ultra, but it's not optimized properly. Yeah, man, it just bothers me. Absolutely bothers me. Hooked on golf says VSync locks it at monitor refresh rate. Yeah, I would avoid that with the plague, my friend. It might work. I'll give it a try, but most other games it's pretty awful. All right, we're on the glide slope capture. The gear's down. We'll go ahead and arm the reversers as well. We'll give the flight attendants a couple chimes. That sound is wrong, and that has been addressed in the next one. We'll go flap 20. We'll slow 160. And Mickey Mike coming with 2 months as a member. Thank you so much, my friend, for that. Always a pleasure. Hopefully we get to meet up in Vegas one of these days coming up. But I'll see you at the Expo either way. So hopefully we get to hang at the Expo. If I'm not not cool enough, let me know. And we'll go flap 30. Go a ref of 156. Missed approach altitude set 3,000. Runway's already in sight, so we'll go landing. We'll call it visual landing at my company when we're visual, and we'll say landing. We don't have to call it the minimums. We see it. If it's IFR conditions, then we'll do the full IFR procedure, of course, but this is a visual condition day. Pearson traffic, Jazz 933, 4 mile final, 24 right. Pearson. Okay, flap 45. We're going to slow 134. One major thing, guys, is I'm flying with the... obviously, this is the current build that everybody has, not the beta that I'm used to. This plane does not quite feel anywhere close to the beta, and the beta feels a lot closer to a real world than this one does. So hang on to your hats, basically, is that one. That's the only excuse I'm going to make for the night. Nothing about wind or anything. Or pilots were trained and paid to deal with the wind. That's kind of the whole point. Mike says, Lemon Nights, be fun, huh? Looking forward to it. Yeah, 100%. I'm looking forward. It's my first expo ever. So... really looking forward to doing Expo with you guys. Autopilot disengaged. I'm getting still a bit of stutter every like 20 seconds, which is quite or every like other frame is a stutter. But I'm at 60 FPS, so I really don't know what's causing that. It's only when I stream. Also, Lonnie, if you're here, it's only when I stream. If I'm offline with those settings I showed you, 90s the whole time. But when I stream, my performance tanks on approach every time. I don't know what it is. I didn't used to do this, though, a long time ago. When I first started, it never happened. Here's some traffic, Jazz 933 over the numbers, 2 for right. Okay, correcting right for the center line a little bit there. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of left rudder used today.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, we'll add in our reverse. Idle reverse. Got to walk the nose down with all the stutters in the world. And manual braking, of course. There's no auto braking. And as we're slowing down, I'm slowly increasing my right aileron into the headwind there. All right, well, we'll add a bit more brakes to make this exit. We'll throw the reversers off. I can relate to that. OBS utilizes a lot of resources on my rig. I lose an average of 10. Wow, okay. It might just, you know what, Lonnie? The sim was running awesome until OBS froze. And as soon as OBS froze and crashed and I had to restart the stream, that's when it started to that's when it started. So I think you're correct. I think it is an OBS issue on that one. Because it was running awesome just up until this point. And once our tail is clear to that hold short line, not the nose, once the tail is clear to the line, then we're clear the runway. Toronto Jazz 933, clear all runways. All right, we're going to go flap up. I'm going to go ahead and get the tax lights still on. I forgot the landing light. Oh, well. There's been worse things. Aft cargo to off, probes off, radar wasn't used. We'll wait on the APU. We're going to take the right turn here on Delta. And we'll cross 3-3 right. Toronto traffic, Jazz 933, crossing runway 3-3 right, Delta. I can't even look around. It's just lagging as I move my mouse. Clear right, clear left. I wonder if it's a chase plane problem. Someone was saying that chase plane has been giving people some issues as well. Take this left turn here on Alpha. And we're going to gate 136, guys. That is a swing gate, which means it swings US and it swings Canadian. So US passengers can get off, US cleared passengers get off, and Canadian cleared passengers come on. And we're going to go over to Montreal now, if the sim doesn't crash. 136. Terminal 1. No follow me. Air Canada. All the flight sim streamers know each other. Yeah, basically. It's a cool little club we got going on. Go ahead and start slowing down for this turn here. And a little nursery rhyme I use in real life, guys, to save some fuel. Is see the crew start the APU. So once you got the crew in sight and they're actually there, we can go ahead and start up the APU. Could be, but ever since the latest NVIDIA driver update, 2020 performance has been down for me. I've gone 4 years with a super stable experience. I've had 4 months of stable every year. I'm always reinstalling stuff and doing whatever. I see the crew. We're going to start the APU. Power fuel. Oh my gosh, this is dreadful. Wait for the bit test to be complete, which it is. Start. There he is, marshalling us for 136. That's 145. That can't be right. 136 should be over there. Yeah. There's the crew. I don't know what these guys are. Mike got mad at me today. Probably for good reason. Mike doesn't really get mad all that much. So Lonnie says, we all show each other love everywhere is unique in their own way. Yeah. The only person we don't show love is the sim. There's 136. Taxi light off. We'll go ahead and kill the left engine. That's a normal procedure we usually do as well. Gonna get better on this taxi or this parking job and we'll be good to go. Yeah, I'm at the regional. I fly the RJ9. So this should work as well. I don't know if it does in the sim. Doesn't look like it's... I guess it is. There we go. That's kind of cool. Alright. Park and brake on. Let's just confirm the electrics have transferred over to the APU, which they have for Gen 1. Gen 2 is next. Electrics are all good, and we'll cut off the thrust, and the anti-ice is all off as well. You should actually check that first before cutting the engine. Seatbelt off, fuel pump off, hydraulic off, beacon off, steering off, please, steering off, transponder to standby, parking brake is set, and the door is ready to be opened. That's it. We made it to Toronto, very laggily, unfortunately, but we did make it here. We're going to go ahead and set up for the next flight, which is going to be Toronto to Montreal. And I'm going to try something really dumb. And I'm going to turn on DLSS real quick. Super resolution. And I just want to see what happens right now. I want to see if it's still lagging with DLSS turned on. So yeah, Lonnie, without OBS on, I'm getting straight like 100, and I'm not even joking with you. But with OBS turned on, and there's the crash. All right, well, as usual, my sim has crashed out. So I'm probably just going to end there, unless you guys want to see the flight into Montreal, but it's kind of getting late for me anyways. But that usually happens to me with this simulator nowadays. I cannot get a stable flight on stream. Off stream, it works just fine. But on stream with OBS running, it does not work at all. So thanks for the patience, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Dom, if you're still here, let me know. Ooh, 1 second. Dom, if you're still here, let me know in the chat. A pairing just got opened up. Lonnie, I meant like without streaming, it runs fine, but with OBS, it just tanks after a certain amount of period. It's almost like it works fine, but it's like eating up like RAM or something. But my RAM usage was down and everything. V says that he tried 24. I have, but all the sceneries are so unoptimized that it runs even worse for me. Like the sim runs amazingly, but it's just unoptimized. I got the Mikey curse. Yeah, Mickey Mike gave me his PC. Oh, I think Dom went to bed, but Simple says, did you try reducing 1080p 60 instead of 2K on OBS output? I could try that. That's not a bad idea. Settings, output, no, that would be actually video. Oh, you know what? I can't. I'd have to shut the stream down. Let me shut the stream down and I'll pop it back on. All right, the stream should be back on. I'm going to restart the sim. We're going to give that a try, simple. Vice President, OBS settings could be high, just so you're aware. OBS from the time to time randomly changes your settings. This happens to me often. I think I still have that output video bitrate of 10,000, the one we set together. And then the video settings are 60 FPS, 1920 by 1080. With resolution match, no downscaling, which maybe I can change that part. I don't know if you have that part set or not. Resolution match, no downscaling in the video settings. It always starts fine, except for the 737-500. But the rest of them start fine, and it always goes to trash as soon as I get close to Toronto specifically. Maybe I have 2 Torontos logged in. I can go check or installed. I can go check the add-on manager. I'm quickly going to get a drink of water, guys. I really, really appreciate you guys all joining and staying connected while we're having technical difficulties as well. We're 1 like away from the goal. I'm going to give myself a like now. We're at the goal. There we go. Guys, I got some water. Hey, Jack. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Just got here, was watching a movie with my wife, but heading to bed soon, brother. Let's catch up tomorrow. Yeah, for sure. We're having a million sim issues. Not really, actually. This time it's a bit better, but we're having a lot of lag. So, you know what? I'm going to try something on OBS. I'm going to get rid of these own 3D, that little Yorsim CFI logo. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of the image slideshow at the bottom right corner, and I'm just going to keep this simple. Just no overlay, just the game, and we're going to see if it's any better. I don't have, unfortunately, time to do another flight, as this is kind of going to push me over with all this resetting and all this kind of stuff. But if I don't get called to work tomorrow, depending, I will do another stream. Quick phone call. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I just deleted, this was from a previous stream where my Seattle was over top Seattle, so that causes that lag. Jason says, is 2024 not working for you? 24 works for me. The problem with 24 I have, two problems. One's you're not probably going to think is significant, but it is to me. And the other problem I'll say. So the first problem is NVIDIA filters don't work on 24 and reshade crashes the sim for me. And the base game, even in 2020, 24, they look so bland, so boring, no colors. You can't barely read anything. The sharpness is off. I'm using an Odyssey G9 monitor, so I know it's not the monitor. It's an OLED with basically 4K. But it's just so bland looking with the filters. The filters make all the text pop out, and I can read, and I can see the runway markings and all that kind of stuff a lot better from further away. So that's one issue. That it just looks terrible to me. The second issue is all the airports I have, all the add-on sceneries I have, are usually either aren't made for 24 or they work, but it's not optimized all that well. So I'm just kind of still doing more testing with 24 before I actually go and stream it. If that answers your question, Jason. Don't think I have any Toronto scenery overloaded on itself. I do have a million Billy Bishops. This might be it. Let's install the landing challenge. I don't care about that. Let's install the Asobo one. That could be the issue. Lonnie, if you're listening. Okay, that's doing it. Now, we're going to go spawn at Pearson. $136. We're just going to see general performance. General performance. And guys, we have hit and surpassed our like goal. We're at 44 likes. Really, really appreciate that, guys. I'm sorry that this sim on my PC right now is just acting terrible. I don't really know what's causing it, but we'll do a few more streams in the near future, and hopefully we'll get this up to specs and everything running nicely. You can see how nice and smooth it is now. Kind of. It's still a little bit laggy, but better than when we landed. It could have been the sceneries at the island airport that I installed. It could have been that I was streaming in 2K and not regular 1080p. It could also be that... what was the other issue that I had? There was one more in there, but it could be a million reasons of why this isn't flying properly. But what I'm going to quickly do with you guys on stream, because I keep messing around with it, is I'm going to set up a nice sensitivity setting that I use for this airplane again, because I've kind of lost it. And then we're going to end the stream there. It is better, right? Simple? Like a million times better. It still lags here and there, but a million times better. So what we're going to do is we're going to set flap 45, the gear is down. I won't go to land in Montreal because I just don't have time, as I'm bidding to work tomorrow and I'm hoping I'm getting it. So we're just going to throw on my... throw up Sky Dolly. What I'm thinking it was, guys, this is the third issue. What I think it might have been, Lonnie, if you're still listening, is I had a bunch of overlay stuff from this place called Own 3D that's talking to the OBS and all this stuff, plus the flight overlay with Fly Live. I just turned all that stuff off. And I'm gonna, next time I do a stream, I'm gonna do a stream with all that stuff off except for except for just the game. We're just gonna leave it as is. So I'm gonna try that next time. And I also turn off that image slideshow at the bottom right. I don't think that causes anything, so we'll just leave that slideshow going at the bottom right there. All right, so we're at Toronto Pearson. I'm going to use my flight instructor station here to whiz myself back to 24 right. Press flap 45, the gears down. We'll go ahead and turn the yaw dampeners on, the parking brake off. We'll throw ourselves on a 3-mile final. And I'm just going to show you guys some landing technique stuff / I'm also going to develop a control settings for you. So while we wait for the release or the update to release, you guys can have a nice flight experience in the CRJ current one. My trip just got approved for tomorrow. But it looks like just 2 days. No, I didn't want that one. Uh-oh. One second, I gotta make a quick phone call here, actually. I gotta call Cruise Scud. Stand by. All right, sorry guys, I'm back. I almost had a heart attack. I bid to fly, but when I bid to fly, I misclicked there, and I bid to fly on the day that I'm going to Vegas. So I had to call cruise and be like, no, I don't want that day, and they approved it immediately. Okay, here you go. So I called and said, no, I don't want that day, and they are changing it. So I work tomorrow, and the 26th, and the 27th, but I'm home for the 28th when I gotta go on my flight. So anyways, sorry about that. Real life flying drama. We're on final. I'm gonna unpause here, and I'm just gonna get a feel of the airplane, and I'm going to change my sensitivity settings as we go, and I'll do it with you guys here. So some stuff's not going to be set up. We do have the flaps at 45. The gear is still kind of coming on down. Yeah, that's also a bug. And when you spawn yourself on final, we're going to hear "don't sinks" a million times. So don't worry about that. So notice how the airplane's kind of jumpy. I want to get rid of that jumpiness with the yoke movements. That's how we fly the airplane in real life. It's a lot of very quick movements on the yoke, but it's not that reactive. So basically the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the reactivity of the pitch down. Let's start with 10. Actually, let's start with 5. From what I've already had from before. It's a little bit better. It's kind of nothing, a lot. So what I'm going to do now, let's go to sensitivity. Leave this at maybe 7. And get rid of the dead zone. We're going to bring this down to 85. I'll press apply. Why did your stream just start? The stream is, I've been streaming Shaq for a bit here, but basically what happened was the sim started to run terribly. And the sim crashed when we got to the gate, so I've restarted, but I don't have enough time anymore to continue. So I'm just showing you guys how I set up my controls for this flight sim to make it feel as realistic as possible without the new flight model, which will be coming in shortly. This feels really good to me, guys. I'm having to trim a lot, and that's because this flight model is not correct. But the feeling of the controls is quite good, and I'll show you guys what I've just dialed in on my settings there. When I don't sync.
50, 40, don't sink. 20, 10.
And that's a classic RJ landing. It's how they pretty much come down. We'll go controls, sensitivity. This felt really good, guys. I might do 87. Maybe one little dead zone in there. This felt very good for pitch. Roll feels very good. So if you guys copy these are very good settings that I've just developed live with you right now. We're going to go back and do another one. I'll make a replay of it. We'll watch the replay and we'll call it a night. Let's make it dusk. So we'll get maybe a nicer time here. There we go. Beautiful. We'll press record. We'll turn on our landing lights. Obviously the seatbelt should still be on, but there we go. So guys, here's a trick for you as well. If you ever fly, I'm going to pause. If you're ever flying a visual approach and you have PAPIs or the glide slope as well, we have 2 white, 2 red right now. That means we're on the slope, but these PAPIs don't bring you to the, it's not a 3-degree slope to the numbers. This is a 3-degree slope to the PAPI, to this line. Just FYI. If I want to maintain that slope, there's a certain feet per minute that's going to maintain it. Right now we're doing 130 across the ground. So if I look at if I go to the calculator, do 130, divide that by 2, that equals 65. So add a 0 to 65, it's 650 feet per minute will maintain this glide slope or this glide path. So we're doing 7. We're basically be teeter-tottering between 6s and 7s. And in the RJ land, it's more than fine to have a 1 white, 3 red, as those PAPIs are made for a little bigger, higher aircraft. Ida wheel height is what it's called.
Don't sink. 500.
So the control feeling feels good. However, in this version of the flight model, the trim kind of flies the entire airplane, and that's what's broken with that, along with a bunch of other stuff. So don't expect this to make the airplane fly amazingly or anything. It does fly better, in the next version of the CRJ, when that does come out, I think everybody will be very happily impressed with how good everything is. You leave all your sensitivities at 0, and it's amazing. I can't wait till I can stream that.
50. Don't sink. 30. 20. 10.
And we'll go ahead reverse. The nose likes to stay in the air for some reason. That's not a real thing. The nose will come crashing on down if you don't hold it up in real life. Learning from a real pilot for free. Who needs school? Yeah, right? This is not free. I'm joking. We'll go ahead and watch that replay. I'll do one max crosswind landing, and then we'll call it a day. But these CRJs in real life, they don't fall out of the sky that easy as it does in the sim, but it's pretty close. They don't like flaring. It's kind of a weird flare, and they thump quite easily. Even though I arrested the descent right at the end there, they still hit. Even if it's a nice a landing, they'll still kind of hit hard sometimes, just because of the gear. It's just a straight pull. And if you're flaring too much under 10 feet, you're just causing the gear to hit even harder. There's not enough time for that wing to actually create enough lift for it to lift you back in the air to arrest the descent, if that makes sense. So we'll do one more, and this time we're going to do it in high crosswind conditions. Max crosswind limitation for the CRJ 900 in RCC 6, which is dry runway conditions, is 35 knots, guys. So we're gonna do 35 knots. We're landing on 24, something like that. So we're gonna put it from here, and we'll go up to 35, or somewhere close to it, and we'll add a bit of gust. I'll put maybe a couple gusts in there. There we go. All right, I'm gonna unpause and just see where that wind is kind of from. Don't worry about that airplane. It's gonna all over the place. Cool. We're gonna press record. Now, with this landing here, guys, we're gonna have to fight that wind. That wind's coming from the left side, so we're gonna have to point our nose heavily into the left. And we're actually tracking towards the runway when we do that. Then at 20 feet, because we're crabbed quite a bit, 15, usually in real life it's 10, but in the sim we'll do 15 feet, we're gonna add right rudder to realign our nose. And what I'm talking about here is if I pause the sim, I see a lot of people on streams on YouTube, Twitch, Discord, they land the airplane like this. I'm going to go outside and show you guys how you're landing the airplane if you're not correcting with rudder. Look how far off those gears are from center line. It may look center, but you're not. So when you get closer to the ground, you have to feed in that right rudder. In this case, sometimes it's left rudder. And once you add right rudder, if you just add rudder, it's going to roll the airplane, so you got to hold left aileron. So right rudder in this case, left aileron to keep it flying straight down the center. So I'm going to unpause. It's kind of weird to come out of a pause. We'll do it there.
200.
Fighting that gust, fighting the wind. Keep that center line. Wind is not an excuse. Your pilots are paid to deal with it.
50. 40. 30. 20.
Flare,
10.
rudder. Could have needed more, but my sensitivities are a bit off. That's okay. There's an excuse right there. And guys, I'm ending the flare with full, well not full, but enough rudder to keep center line. And as I slow down, I'm increasing my ailerons into that wind. So we'll go outside and take a look at it. I could have needed more rudder. I felt it. But I'll show you guys from over here.
Sink. 50.
And I'll go outside. So I still need a little bit more. But that's the technique. So I'll do it one more time. We'll hopefully show you a nice example.
Don't sink.
Go back here. I'll press record. There we go.
Don't sink.
And I gotta get this thing out of a pause situation. Flies a bit weird.
Sink.
Get back to about 135 knots or so.
200. Don't sink. Don't sink. 100.
I think those pappies are wrong actually, but
50. 40.
kick that rudder over, get that airplane down on the ground, right rudder, left aileron, reversers deployed, add your brake. Now in this flight model, the rudder's all over the place. It's not the correct pressure, it's not the correct amount of movement, the ailerons don't do the correct thing. The next flight model, I've done extensive testing for 2 weeks straight with the devs, and we've got it dialed in quite nicely for you guys, doing all sorts of tests. But I'll show you this one. Much nicer, as you can see there. I was almost full rudder, which in real life wouldn't be that much rudder, about half pedal really, if anything, but the next version will be much better. Jason, how do you feel about CRJ no longer being Canadian? I don't really care. So you're using rudder to turn the aircraft into the wind when fighting the wind. Correct. Just before you touch down, you're going to want to realign. It's called aligning your longitudinal axis. I'll show you from this perspective. This might make sense if you see it from this way. See how we're not centered on the line? So if we touch down like this, our airplane's going to sail off into the grass if we have no wind correction. So we're going to add our, let me slow it down here. Let me do this. Let me slow it down. I'll press play, make it day so you can see it. And we're going to add just at 15 feet or so, right rudder. Keep that flare going. And right rudder, left aileron in this case. If I'm adding right rudder, I'm adding left aileron. If I'm adding left rudder, I'm adding right aileron. So they're opposite of each other. Take a look at my ailerons currently. Notice that one on the left, whoa, is all the way, let me slow this down, is all the way deflected up. That because I'm full left, I'm full left, I'm not full, but I'm left aileron. The reason behind this, let's say let's say you're the wind right now. Okay, so you're the wind, you're coming at me like this at 30 knots. Which wing do you see first? Your answer is the left wing. That means the left wing is going to produce more lift because it has 30 knots of wind over it than the right wing. What does that cause? That left wing is going to want to rise in the air. It's going to want to tilt you right. The left wing is going to come up and roll you that way. So I'm holding that left wing down with left aileron. I'm holding that left wing down at the same time adding right rudder to align my nose on that center line. If that all makes sense. Let's go ahead and show you another one of these. Here it comes. Whoa, too much. Right rudder, left aileron, touch, right in the center line. And your job is to hold it. Hold it. Hold it. In the current version, it's a little hard to do that. But in the next version, when the rudder's a lot better tuned and all that, it'll be much easier to do this kind of stuff. But anyways, guys, I'll end this stream there. I'll leave you on a wing view, put it back to normal. And I really hope you guys liked it. And I hope you guys come back for the next one. Sorry we couldn't complete the rest of the flight. I do actually have to work tomorrow now, though. So anyways, I'll leave you with some landings. And yeah, thanks for jumping in. We'll see you next time.